Hello everybody, welcome along. This is just supporting the lesson which has been set on showing my homework for you, and this is the one that follows on from the previous lesson which focused on the Black Lives Matter movement. So make sure you've done that one first, of course, because you might need it in order to be able to understand today's. Now, as per usual, on the screen there is a blue box. It will tell you what to do and how long to do it for. First activity then, we're studying a new poem today, and that's what your title is going to be. The title which you need to write down at the top of your paper along with today's date. It is Hollow. Quite simply, Hollow. Hollow is the name of the poem, and you're going to need your poetry booklet later as well, the one that was sent to you in the post, because that contains the poem so you can actually see it as well. So you're about to pause this video for 10 minutes and have a go at looking up those words on the screen, because those are the words which are probably going to be unfamiliar to you from the poem. If I just say them aloud quickly, you've got righteous, stately, syncopated, succinct, bougie it is actually pronounced, saliva, plaque and plinth. Those are your words. So I'm going to go quiet for 5 seconds in a moment to allow you to pause this video and then look up those words. Okay, over to you. Okie dokie. Right, let's move on then. So just as a recap, Black Lives Matter, the movement which really came to be recognised, or certainly sort of seen nationally, if you like, was from last year, following the killing of George Floyd, the police officer, the white police officer, killing the black man by kneeling on his neck for about 8-9 minutes, I think it was. It triggered a whole load of protests in America. Those protests spilled into Britain as well, and that was the focus of the previous lesson. Just wanted to remind you, particularly with the statue in the bottom right of a man called Edward Colston. Now, what I'm going to do for you here is I'm just going to press play on this video and I want you to watch it. Now, it's not going to come through, the audio is going to have to catch on my microphone, so I'm going to turn my laptop up a second just so you'll be able to hear this. Pay attention because it's really important you see this before you then read the poem, because this sets the context for you. Right, here we go.
For many in Bristol, this was a welcomed sight. The controversial statue of slave trader Edward Colston torn down during a Black Lives Matter protest. The presence of the statue has divided opinion in the city for years. But who was Edward Colston? Born in 1636, Colston grew up in Bristol, before moving to London to work for the Royal African Company, or the RAC. The RAC traded commodities such as gold, silver, and slaves. It's estimated that when Colston held a senior position, he helped transport 84,000 African men, women and children to work as labourers on tobacco and sugar plantations, with 19,000 of them dying on their journeys. Colston is commemorated heavily in his home city. His statue stood on a street named after him, in front of a tower named after him, behind which is a concert hall also named after him. City activists have petitioned to have the statue removed for years, but opinions are divided over what happened.
Shouldn't have been done in that way. Completely wrong to pull a statue down like that. But stepping back, that statue should have been brought down a long time, should have been taken down a long time ago. You can't in 21st century Britain have a slaver on a statue. A statue is there to honour people, and you can't have that in 21st century Britain. That statue should have been brought down properly with consent and put, I would say, in a museum.
Well, I think that is utterly disgraceful, and that speaks to the acts of disorder, public disorder, that actually have now become a distraction from the cause in which people are actually protesting about.
The Home Secretary is showing a lack of understanding of where the country is right now. And I would love to hear some outrage about the 25% of kids in my city who live in poverty, the growing inequality, the deaths in custody, both here in the United States, the militarization of US streets.
And it does go on like that as well, sort of talking about the different reactions that have been had when that statue came down. And we're talking just over a year ago. Hopefully you remember that from a previous lesson, but it was only just over a year ago from now when this all was actually happening. So there you go, sets a bit of context for you for the poem before we move on. And here we go. So this is going to be task 2 for you. So there's going to be 2 things here. One I'm going to ask you to do in a minute is I'm in the video mode, is to read this poem to yourself for a moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it with you, like you would do in a lesson with the teacher, and actually highlight key bits and draw your attention and explain some key bits as well. So what I'd like you to do is just pause this video for as long as it takes you, but do make sure you read this poem to yourself first before I then give you ideas. This is all about unseen poetry, this unit, and this poem is one you've never seen before. Rather than me just tell you everything about it, I just want to give you a chance to experience it yourself and also have some thoughts for yourself as well. So okay, pause this video now and have a look through the poem, please. Right, and then what I am going to do is just move over to a copy of the poem, which I'll zoom in on a little bit. Hopefully you can just about see this on your screen, okay? So this is, as it says, Hollow by Vanessa Kinsule, and it was from last year. I'm going to read it as I go through, and I'm going to highlight bits. And again, as I'm doing this on the screen here, this is what you should be doing as you watch the video as well. And also trying to add some annotations. Remember, labelling that poem with these thoughts as well. Really important that you do that, because that is something that you will need to do when you come to your GCSEs through year 10 and through year 11. Right, so she is writing about the statue, and think about why the title Hollow might be quite applicable to a statue, bearing in mind that they aren't solid things, that they are indeed hollow, but also something which is hollow has nothing inside of it, and maybe that's suggesting there's nothing good inside of him. He was a man on the outside, but not actually solidly good person on the inside, so they're empty. You came down easy in the end, the righteous wrench of 2 ropes in grand ply. Quite like that one, the righteous wrench, as in it was the right thing to do. Yanking him down, wrenching. Briefly you flew, corkscrewed, then met the ground, with a clang of toy guns, loose chains, a rain of cheers. That's quite a nice line. I'm highlighting anything which leaps out at me. I don't always have something to say about these lines, but I like that line. I might need it, I might come back to it. Standing ovation, like everyone if you're in a theatre and watching something, at the end people clap. If everyone stands up and claps, that's a standing ovation. Standing ovation on the platform of your neck. Now that's a key bit as well, because that links to the George Floyd murder when the policeman knelt on his neck. So actually the platform is something you need to stand on, so that's quite a good line for imagery. Punk ballet, Act 1, there is more to come. Nice bit of rhyme there, draws our attention to this Act 1 idea, suggesting it's almost like part of a play, these events, when his statue is pulled down, and there might be further acts like Act 2 and Act 3. And who carved you? There is a rhetorical question there. I don't know if it's necessarily important, so I'm not highlighting it. They took such care with that stately pose and propped chin. Wise and virtuous, the plaque assured us. Victors wish history odourless and static, but history is a sneaky mistress, moves like smoke. Colston, and like saliva in the hungry mouth. Like this idea, this personification of history going on here. Almost like history is something a bit sneaky and something that you can't necessarily trust. Perhaps a bit like being told that Edward Colston was a good man. Here's a statue. The truth of it being that actually he was a slave trader. This is your rightful home, here in the pit of chaos. It's a lovely line for imagery. Like when the statue's been torn down and all those people are cheering around it. It's like chaos. Take your twisted glory and feed it to the tadpoles which living in the water where the statue got dumped. Kids will write raps to that syncopated splash. I think of you lying in that harbour with the horrors you hosted. So that's really nice, the horrors that he was in charge of the people, the slaves, and it was his actions which led to them suffering. There is no poem more succinct than that. But still you are permanent. You who perfected the ratio. I think this is really nice, the direct address, as if she's writing to him. Blood to sugar, to money to bricks. That sort of captures what he did. Haunted by bones, children learn and titans sing under the stubborn rust of your name. But the air is gently throbbing with newness. So that's almost personifying the air, like there's change in the air, like the statue being ripped down was the first event in many things that are changing. Can you feel it? There's that direct address again with a rhetorical question. Colston, I can't get the sound of you from my head. Countless times I passed that plinth, its heavy threat of metal and marble. It's just nice with the alliteration sounds there. Quite angry sounds as well, metal and marble. But as you landed, a piece of you fell off, broke away, and inside, nothing but air. This whole time, you were hollow. Almost as implying that he's, again, as I said at the start there's nothing really to him. He's not worthy, because he is just empty. Right, I'm just going to get myself back to my slide a second. So there's some annotations. Now what we're going to do is you are going to have a go at answering this question here, which mirrors what you would have to do at GCSE. And the question is, which I want you to write onto your page as well, please. In Hollow, how does the poet present their feelings about Edward Colston? So again, write that question. Now just make sure you pause the video if you need to, but on my next slide is an example paragraph. Now before I get you distracted with it, I just want to say, use it as a guideline for following the PEAR steps. Use it sentence starters, but be wary, be careful, don't just copy it word for word. You're going to want to choose a different quote from the poem, something maybe I just spoke about that you heard, and then have a go at using that to write about. And I'll give you some suggestions in a minute once I've read it. So on the right hand side there, the 1, 2, 3, 4 PEAR steps for you to follow, they're colour coded along with the colour coding in the example answer, which I'm just going to read to you quickly. Kinsule illustrates to us her anger and frustration at the statue of Colston and how he represents links to slavery. You could even make your first sentence a little bit longer than that, like what he did. One way that she illustrates this is by using, so here's my method, by using alliteration and emotive language. And here's my quote, talking about the statue lying in the harbour and the horrors you hosted. So I've got the emotive language and I've got the alliteration of the H sound there. Now the analysis is really important, so make sure you have a good go at this red step. By using these words, Kinsule suggests that she feels the actions of Colston were deliberate and still have an effect through his statue existing. Because the noun horrors, now I go into more depth here, I pick out one single word to analyse. Horrors is so powerful with dark connotations, the alliteration helps emphasise the evil actions to the reader. And finally, in purple, Kinsule reveals to the reader just how terrible she feels the actions of Colston were and teaches us to look at history again, not just accepting what's been celebrated in the past. Now, you're going to want to take about 20 minutes to do this, and it's really important you have a good go at this because this is the main part of the lesson. Analysing the poem, look at the lines we've highlighted, maybe have a think about what the method in the line you're about to choose, but choose the line you feel is strongest and you've got something to say about, and then have a go at writing your own paragraph. Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope it was useful for you, and goodbye.